Okay, so I think until we start to have a honest conversation, a realistic dialogue about the impact that hip hop has on our community, then we'll never actually begin to to resolve a number of our issues. So I'm gonna start by giving examples of how I was affected by mass media and I was affected by propaganda or entertainment or the big screen to one degree or another. In an earlier post, I talked about how I was affected by, the movie Colors, and how watching the movie almost got me killed because I was not a street dude and was trying to be something that I wasn't. So the big screen or television or movies has not always had a negative impact on me. So at one point in time, I used to watch the Cosby Show. You know what? I'll go back further than that. One of my favorite movies is Malcolm X with Denzel Washington. And when I saw this movie, it gave me goosebumps. It made me feel like I have never felt before. Especially the part when they was inside the courthouse or the jailhouse, and then Denzel was like, "These are brothers of Brother Johnson." And then when they was outside, and then he held up the hand, and then he pointed the finger, and then everybody just kind of moved in unison. All that thing, it still give me goosebumps to this day. I was so impacted by that movie, by that at that particular time in my life, bro. I had a job. I was working at the Piggly Wiggly on Redan in South Harrison. That's how old I am. Bro, I went and bought me a bow tie. I went and I only had one suit. I only had one suit, but I went and bought me a bow tie. And I got my stepdad at the time to take me to the mosque at the West End. And had I had somebody to wrap their arm around me, because he was just doing it out of, me just asking him. He had no desire, but he was just like, well, this is what you want to do, then go. Then I started listening. This old school too, I always liked Cam. And I know Cam was he was a Muslim, but man, I was suited and booted. The only thing that turned me away, and I don't know if this is true. I don't know. I'm just telling you at the time that I was a young teen, and when they told me that, because when you go in, the men go to one side, the women go to the other side, it was real like discipline. And I was like, I can do this. And then one of the brothers started talking. And then what I remember, mind you, I'm an impressionable teen, and I'm not paying attention to I'm paying attention to what I can pay attention to. So long story short, I just remember somebody saying that if you're alive and you're not a Muslim, when you die, you go to hell and fire will run through your body for an eternity. I don't know if that's true. I hadn't done any follow-up research. But what I knew at that particular time, that my mama, Diana Wingo, was never, ever going to be a Muslim, period. So I was like, man, I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. But I was like, well, when my mama died, what y'all saying is, fire going to run through her body, then I can't even be a part of that. And that's the decision I made as a child. Mind you, as an adult, I hadn't done any research on or any follow-up, so don't hold me accountable for that, because I was just a child. The same way I was a child and I looked at colors and I thought that being in the gang was what I wanted to do. No. Also, I used to love the Cosby Show and A Different World. It's come on Thursday nights. So I was so into the Cosby Show that I wanted to be a lawyer. That and LA Law. I wanted to be an attorney when I was a child. But also because I was green to death when it came to relationships and having a girlfriend. And so this was before I even had a girlfriend, my first girlfriend. But I thought that when Theo carried the girl Justine's books, that was a part of being in a relationship. I didn't understand the concept of obtaining a phone number, talking to her about it, talking to somebody and actually going through the talking stage. Remember, y'all used to be, yeah, we talking. This was before I had got hip to all that. So this girl, and I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to embarrass myself or her. She had asked me to carry her books, and I think I was like in 7th or 8th grade. And I thought because I carried her book, I thought we go together. I thought we was in a relationship, and I was telling people and everything. I was like, yeah, me and Shawty go together. And it was all based off the fact that I had carried her books. And that situation got way too embarrassing, man. But you know, you grow up and you figure certain things out. But I thought just for the mere fact that I had carried her books, and I wasn't even carrying her books for like a bunch of days. A bunch of days. I was just like, when it was brought to me, I was just like, yeah, I carried your book. What you mean? What you mean we won't go together? So let's skip. And my taste in music was from the southern eastern region. I'm listening to UGK, 8 Ball and MJG, NWA. And I'm thinking that, you know, this is a way of life. And in fact, when I got a little older, I used to be going to rob somebody, coming from robbing somebody like with a real firearm and with real circumstances and repercussions, man. I'm listening to 8 Ball and MJG. I'm listening to that killer shit. So what I'm saying is that hip hop has had an impactful presence in my life to one degree or another. Now, I can listen to it now and I can get the motivation. I'm 46. But I've been in situations where I've seen people utilize drugs while they were listening to somebody talk about utilizing drugs, and that rapper may or may not even be on drugs. So right now we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So the question arises, man, how many people or how many bodies is hip hop responsible for putting in a jail cell? How many people are dead because of hip hop? And I know of some rappers that they do positive things in the community. I was at the execution of Troy Davis years and years ago, and I saw Big Boy and Killer Mike down there on the front line. And it was for real. And I've seen rappers, I have rented moonwalk equipment to rappers. I had an opportunity to interview. I was doing radio through Regina Sunshine, who introduced me to Jack Trey, and Jack Trey know a whole lot of people. And I had the opportunity to interview Shawty Low. So I asked him, not in a disrespectful way, I was just like, man, is it possible to sell music, do music, or be in the entertainment, be in that particular field without talking about killing black people? And with no menace, with no sarcasm, with no BS in his voice or his response, he said, man, that shit ain't gonna sell. He said, do you buy it? I was like, well, no. So I understood from that aspect. And had I ever been in a situation where I could get on the track and talk about something and it rhyme and I get paid, I probably would have did it myself. But when I started thinking about the impact that it has had and it is having on us, then it's kind of disturbing, because it's almost like the drug dealer that sell drugs to your mom and your daddy and got them cracked out. And I'm not saying that the drug dealer is the sole proprietor and the demise of our communities, because they didn't grow the drugs. But what I'm saying is you participated in this. And so it's equivalent to you selling drugs to my mama and then giving us a turkey on Thanksgiving. If you rap about killing black people or degrading black women and doing all this stuff to this subliminal nigga, and then you have a nonprofit or you give back to the community or you do a bike giveaway or all this stuff, it's no difference. It's no difference. And I'm saying that I love hip hop. I listen to it. And some of the rappers I'm talking about, I got them on my playlist now. But I'm 46 years old and I'm too scared to break a law. But I know some teens, I know some young adults that they living their life. And all the rappers ain't lying. Some of them telling the truth. So my point in saying all that is that I think that if we're not able to have a real dialogue about what is detrimental to our community, then we'll never begin to resolve the issues. Like, it's even with the retired rappers, they like these millionaires and billionaires, and they just be like, done, I'm not doing it no more. And they got all this property and they doing all this stuff. And then you drop an album or you get on some and you talk about the same stuff. Like, we don't even believe that you selling dope, but you make it sound so good that, you know, it works its way into our system. So one, we have to be conscious of what we allow into our system, but most importantly, we have to be conscious of what our young people are allowing into their system. And then, man, it would be dope to have some accountability. Because as smart as these people are, as business savvy as they are, they still continue to push the poison into our people. And it's just that simple. And when you turn to a radio station, or you turn on the TV, but it is black people killing black people. And if you ever say something about killing a white person or a Jewish person or a Chinese person, oh man, it's blasphemy. But you can talk about killing your people all the time and you can go platinum. In fact, any initial, now all rappers don't do it. You got some people, and I ain't naming no name, but you got some people that they talk about something that's, you know, something mind unraveling. Andre 3000, like one of my best, he my top one. He my top rapper. And I ain't saying I don't like rappers that talk about killing, but what I'm telling you is that it's other ways to, you know, get your point across or to express yourself artistically. That's another aspect of it, because it'll be said that certain people are being, that's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get into that because it's art, but you artistically killing black people, and people are mimicking what it is that you're talking about. But again, to my point is that if we can't have an open, honest dialogue about, you know, what's really going on, then you'll never have a true resolution. I'm interested for feedback so I can respond. I'm open for conversation. Like, subscribe, man, share the content with somebody, man, so we can get something going. Cause right now we filling up these jails, and I'm talking from a person who has been in there. I have been in jail, and I seen so many dudes with thug life across their stomach and MOB across their back. And I'm guilty. I don't have none of the tattoos, but the same method of speaking or attacking obstacles, I would utilize the music that I thought was the blueprint. And that's just the truth. And there are people who right now that utilize those lyrics and that form of music to guide their thought process. And if that's a fact, if we can understand that that is a fact, then how is it that we celebrate something that kills us and increases mass incarceration? I'm out.